Hello YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review. Besides Sagrada Reset, there was another anime which continued after the past spring season, and that anime was Sakura Quest. Sakura Quest was the newest anime made by PA Works, and they usually deliver high quality anime, so I did have expectations for it. I could only hope that it didn't disappoint like Sagrada Reset did. The main character of Sakura Quest is Yoshino Koharu. Yoshino lives in Tokyo but has a hard time finding a job. Now one day she does land a job and she gets sent to a small rural village called Manoyama somewhere in the Japanese countryside. Manoyama is slowly disappearing because of it not keeping up with the new technological world. Yoshino's job is to revitalize this small village and to keep it from totally vanishing. For this she gets the help of 4 local women, and together they try to pull Manoyama into the 21st century whilst dealing with their own issues and insecurities. The first positive point that I want to get out of the way is the animation. As I said in my intro, PA Works usually delivers high quality anime, especially when it comes to the animation, and that was no less true here in Sakura Quest. PA Works animes are sure to have high quality, smooth and colorful animation. They are one of my favorite animation studios when it comes to pure animation. And here in Sakura Quest they again delivered what I expect from them. Then we get to the characters, and I really appreciated the strong female cast in Sakura Quest. It's a trend that I've been seeing recently to use female characters more as main and independent characters. Only this season, besides Sakura Quest, I saw strong female casts in Kakegurui, New Game and Princess Principal, and I can definitely appreciate that. In the past, female characters were kind of neglected in anime. Usually they were used as fan service or as someone who would just follow the main male character. Nowadays we see more and more animes where a female character takes the lead, and that diversity can only be good for future animes. Now our 5 main female characters also all get their time to shine. Each of them has an arc where they get the development that they need. My favorite character in Sakura Quest was Ririko, because she goes through the most development throughout the anime. She already makes a great leap at the end of part 1, and by the time the anime is finished, she has evolved from a dull, shy, following girl to a strong and independent woman who knows what she wants in life. But besides Ririko, there was no character where I felt that she didn't get the development that she deserved. My final positive point is my most important one, and that are the topics where Sakura Quest is built upon. This anime addresses 3 topics that are very actual in today's society. The first one is the disappearance of small rural villages. The story that Manoyama is slowly disappearing isn't fiction, this is happening in real life. About a month ago I was up in the north of Sweden, where we stayed in a small village called Kangos with about 250 inhabitants, and it laid in the middle of nowhere. Now, one of our guys who was a local from there told us that Kangos was slowly disappearing. All the young people were moving away to bigger cities because there were more opportunities there. So this story about Manoyama isn't so fictional, it is actually very real. The second topic that Sakura Quest used was the generation gap and the merging of old and new. Multiple times we get to see how our young and progressive main cast clashes with the older inhabitants of Manoyama. And the same thing happens constantly in our society. Our parents and grandparents who were born before the technological revolution can have a hard time keeping up in this new internet-based world. And Sakura Quest showed this in a very beautiful way, but it also showed that it isn't impossible to merge the old with the new. Technology and tradition can live side by side. And the final topic was the merging of different cultures. The people of Manoyama are very cautious about outsiders, about people with different cultures. And is there anything that is more actual in today's changing multicultural world? Like with the generation gap, Sakura Quest showed that merging different cultures isn't impossible and that it can be an enrichment to both parties. For this I want to refer to the dragon play during the festival and the dragon song that is so beautifully sung by Ririko in the final episode. Now overall, Sakura Quest was a very complete anime by its end. There were very few loose ties that were left after the final episode was done. But I did find two things that weren't fully resolved. The first is that we don't know how Manoyama eventually ended up. The final episodes were all about the chance of Manoyama disappearing, and we don't know how the village eventually ended up. Did they get absorbed? Does the name still exist? And all sorts of questions like that. And a second one is that the case of the golden dragon was never resolved because they never found it. Something that I always say when reviewing a slice of life anime is that it's a slice of life anime. Slice of life is one of the most difficult genres in anime. You either love it or you don't. And if you don't, then slice of life can become really boring really fast. Sakura Quest is also an anime where not a lot of spectacular things happen. It thrives more using its topics, which I just discussed. So as a conclusion, if you're a fan of slice of life animes, then you're going to like this anime. It's very easy to build a bond with the characters of Sakura Quest, and you're going to be pulled into their development and yes, become a bit emotionally attached to them. PA Works did another great job with this anime. I really enjoyed it, and that's why I'm rating Sakura Quest at 4 out of 5 stars. As I said, it's not the most spectacular anime, but for a slice of life anime it was very well put together. An online recommendation of an anime that I still have to watch is Shirobako. I have been saying for way too long that I still have to watch Shirobako, and I see it being recommended to a lot of animes that I enjoyed, so soon I am going to watch it. An anime that I recommend is Nagi no Asukara. I felt the same vibe when watching Sakura Quest than when I watched Nagi no Asukara. Nagi no Asukara is great in developing its characters, which are already very strong by themselves. It has more drama than Sakura Quest, but in terms of development and storytelling, it is a very good anime. It's an anime that I really enjoyed and I definitely recommend watching. And with that I conclude my review of Sakura Quest. As usual, you can find the full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now, if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put it in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put it in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. Then I will say, arigatou gozaimasu, and I will see you all in the next video.